Good evening, I'm Chief Meteorologist Ben Pine. We are tracking a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. And unfortunately, this could be one of our first tornado warnings of many others through the late night tonight. And this is in Meade County.
All right, hello everyone. I'm meteorologist Alden German here in the WHAS 11 Weather Center. I'm back online now, and we're live on the air with Ben Pine and TG Shug because we do have a tornado warning that's just been issued for our for parts of our area. This is in Meade County. It also includes northern parts of Hardin County, extreme southern Harrison County in Indiana, and also parts of eastern, northeastern Breckenridge County. So this is a tornado warning that has just been issued, and that is in effect until 11:15 p.m. So we check that out there, 11:15 p.m. The storm is moving to the northeast at 55 miles per hour, so it is moving fairly quickly.
And the entire First Alert Storm Team is going to be tracking these storms again through the late night.
All right, I'm going to get a storm track on this here in just 1 second to adjust for the time. So this is moving at 55 miles per hour to the northeast, and assuming it maintains its strength and continues to the northeast at that time, you can expect that in Fort Knox in about 15 minutes, possibly in the area of Shepherdsville in 30 minutes, near Hillview in 35 minutes, downtown Louisville in about 40 minutes, St. Matthews in 44 minutes, Prospect in about 51 minutes, and Crestwood in 56 minutes. So this is a tornado warning that's just been issued for parts of Breckenridge, Meade, northern Hardin, and southern Harrison counties until 11:15 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll get in a little bit closer here and examine the wind potential.
Looks like this will stay just south of you, Brandenburg. There is Highway 60. Here's State Road 428.
So it's right here in this area.
There, kind of along and just south of Highway 60, and it's tracking off to the east-northeast rapidly. All these storms tonight.
Let's see here. Let me pull up this velocity instead.
From around 60 to 100 miles per hour, just a few thousand feet off the ground.
All right, so it's going to be
at about 50 to 60 miles per hour.
This general area here. It's kind of south of Highway 60 that we're looking at this for.
Some of that circulation we look for to find that rotation. Thankfully, this doesn't look as potent as some of the storms we've been watching out in.
Yeah, it's this rotation here that's just south of Irvington that we're keeping a close eye on. This is moving to the northeast at 55 miles per hour, so it is a fairly quick-moving storm. We're looking at the wind speeds right now, and this helps us identify where there are some areas of rotation within the storm. So we're keeping a pretty close eye on that. I'll put it back here into our radar mode so you can get this is a more common scene that you're used to seeing. And I'll zoom out here, move to the northeast, and I'll put a track on this. So this is moving to the northeast at 55 miles per hour. Assuming it maintains its strength, that would put it in Fort Knox in about 13 minutes, Fishtown 21 minutes, Shepherdsville in 28 minutes, Fern Creek in about 41 minutes, and Prospect in about 48 minutes. This is radar indicated rotation, so this is not necessarily a confirmed tornado, but there have been already a long history tonight of strong tornadoes in parts of western Kentucky that have caused significant damage. Now, the environment in our area is not quite as favorable for this long track activity, but it's still something we're going to be keeping a pretty close eye on here.
Where we find some of that circulation.
So this is just to the southwest of Jefferson County. Getting some more information on this.
Straight line winds can do similar damage. 70, 80 mile per hour winds can be destructive, do tree damage, and cause some power line and power outages.
So this is a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado, located to about 10 miles to the east of Hardinsburg, probably a little bit more than that now. moving to the northeast at 55 miles per hour. This is only radar indicated rotation, so does not mean it is a confirmed tornado. However, it is still a threat, and you should still go ahead and take your tornado precautions. As for those precautions, you want to get down to the lowest level, most interior portion of whatever building you're in, away from outside walls and windows. You want to put as much space between you and the outside as possible. If you have a basement, that is the best place to be. If you do not have a basement, you can find, again, on the lowest level, an interior staircase, an interior hallway, a closet, or a bathroom. You can go into that bathroom, take some blankets and cover yourself with it to give yourself a little bit of added protection. If you do not have a basement, or if you live in a mobile home in particular, not a very safe place to be. So
obviously it's not tightened up as far as the couplet goes. Unfortunately, we've been having a little issue.
I'm listening to TG Shuck and Ben Pine. They're also on air right now, so you're probably hearing a little bit of overlap there, so I apologize for that. But if you are in a mobile home, it's going to be important that you find a safe location for you to get to.
We haven't had up until now is
so let's go back to radar.
The most unstable air and the best dynamics have been just out across western Kentucky, just right up to the really western edge.
So the most significant of this rotation is going to be to the south of Brandenburg. And we're not quite seeing that tight rotation that we are used to seeing with some of these stronger tornadoes, but it is still something that we're going to be keeping a close eye on.
Any tornado warnings up until this point, but obviously we have one now. We had a severe thunderstorm warning earlier across Breckinridge County. And we were looking at the energy out that way, and it's much more sufficient for that rotation. There's a lot of shear and a lot of turning of the winds with height in the atmosphere, more so out into western Kentucky. But of course,
I'm just looking at information here from the National Weather Service.
As that front draws closer, some of that will probably be pushed our way heading into the overnight hours. So
obviously a long night.
Yeah, by no means are we going to be out of the woods after these first few rounds move through as far as these individual cells, because there's plenty back there, as we showed you just a little bit ago.
Let's go and do one more track, and then I'd like to kind of reset, show you the tornado watch. There's a tornado watch for basically the entire...
All right, that was TG Shuck talking about this current storm that we're tracking here. I'll put a track on this again. It's being kind of elongated here, which is a good thing, because that means the storm is being kind of torn apart by the strong winds we have up to the in the upper levels of the atmosphere. But this is moving to the northeast at about 55 miles per hour. So that would put it in Fort Knox in about 10 minutes. This tornado-warned storm in Shepherdsville in about 26 minutes. Hillview, roughly 30 minutes. And Fern Creek, we'll put it in your area in just under 40 minutes. We'll put this on a loop for the last hour.
Yeah, the chat is back up, and I was just going to reference that next cell that is heading.
Currently listening to TG Shuck speaking on air.
Literally been lined up, just going over the same pieces of real estate,
one after the other, just along and north of the Western Kentucky Parkway. So.
All right, Christina, you hear the sirens going off in Elizabethtown. It's important to note there is no threat for E-Town at this moment. This is for northern Hardin County.
That supercell that's going to be wanting to track your direction. Notice that they're all moving to the northeast at about 50 to 55 miles per hour. Now let's back up a little bit more. So these little groupings, line segments, it's not one squall line that's going to be moving through here, TG. It's going to be, again, these clusters through the
Yeah,
nighttime.
meteorologist Alden German, he's on our Facebook Live, he's in the Weather Center, he's got something to add.
Yeah, I've been seeing comments from people saying that they're hearing the sirens going off in E-Town and in Corden. Just want to address the folks that are living in those communities. There is no tornado threat if you are in E-Town or Corden. That threat is only for that area that's been shaded in that red box. So that's included Irvington, just to the south there of Brandenburg, Fort Knox, Akron, West Point. Those are the locations that are under the gun for that tornado warning right now. So if you're hearing those sirens in other parts of Hardin County and Harrison County, such as near Corden and E-Town, the tornadic threat from that storm is well to your south or north. So just want to clarify that to some people.
And that happens sometimes for some reason. Sometimes those tornado warning sirens will go off even when there's not a warning in York County, and we don't have a reason for that at this time. Yeah, TG, you're looking at.
I was going to say, the one cell that we wanted to show you that is well west out into western Kentucky. Unfortunately, I mean, this right here within this has been a long track violent tornado. You see Mayfield down there in the bottom left-hand part of your screen. Literally, the signature went right over Mayfield, which is in Graves County. It's a county seat. About 10,000 people live there, and out of the Paducah chat, getting reports of literally major and catastrophic damage in Mayfield. But remember, again, that part of the state, that area of the country, again, the dynamic's much more conducive for those long track tornadoes where the air is much more stable. But of course, it's in the Commonwealth. I know people have relatives out that way, out near Paducah, and it's been a rough night across northeast Arkansas and especially far western Kentucky.
So the radar signatures that we've seen are some of the most impressive that we've ever seen out that direction. If you hit on the Cape button, TG.
Yeah, I was just about to do that.
I want to show you the energy that is
let me
west.
broaden out here. There you go.
So this is where we have a moderate risk of severe storms. That's one level higher than what we
We're
have.
on the air at the same time, so that's why we're hearing so many other voices that aren't myself. We're still looking at that storm there in Meade County. It has been really sheared apart, so it's been elongated quite a bit. So it's not as strong as it once was, and it's also not looking as significant of a tornadic signature. So they're going to continue to let this warning go on for a little bit, and then they might let it expire early or cancel. It's currently in effect until 11:15 p.m. and it's moving to the northeast at a fairly quick pace at 55 miles per hour. So if we put a track on that, and assuming it maintains that pace, we would see this storm in Valley Station about 19 minutes, in Fern Creek at about 34 minutes, and Prospect in roughly 42 minutes.
I don't think it's going to be that great, but we are going to have some that energy. That warm air mass is going to slide our way out ahead of the cold front. That's going to finally.
Julie Pierce saying that your children are in Westport. They should take their tornado precautions, but this is not a confirmed tornado. This is radar indicated, meaning that
cluster really of thunderstorms that's
conditions are favorable for that tornado to
It is
develop.
not looking as significant as
Put a loop on this for the last hour. You can see how that storm has really...
They're going to cancel it here within about a minute, they say.
Okay, that was TG Shuck saying they're going to cancel this tornado warning here in about 1 minute. So that's very good news. They're in parts of Meade County, south of Brandenburg there, near Fort Knox, and just moving into southwestern Jefferson County here fairly soon. But they are going to be canceling this tornado warning very soon.
All right, so here's a track where you could.
Yes, that's the National Weather Service saying that they're planning to cancel that tornado warning in just pretty soon.
Tornado warning is gone.
Okay, and they just dropped it. So that tornado warning has been canceled. It's dropped. That means the tornado threat is now done for Meade County. But we are still seeing that heavy rain and gusty winds moving through parts of southern Harrison County. We'll also be seeing this moving into parts of Jefferson County, Kentucky, so Metro Louisville here over the course of the next 20 minutes as well. So we're in a much less favorable environment at the moment, kind of along that I-65 corridor for these storms to sustain themselves, but there's still a lot more back to our west that we're going to be watching over the course of the night. As a reminder, we do have a tornado watch that's in effect until 3 a.m. for our entire coverage area. That's the area that you see shaded there in that lighter shade of red. And our main threats for tonight are going to be damaging wind gusts.
Yeah, the Ohio County tornado warning has
isolated tornadoes like we've been seeing already, and there's a lesser risk for flooding and hail.
Should be disappearing.
All right, coming back up here to radar. So that storm is a lot weaker than what it was before, hence why that tornado warning was canceled. And a loop here of the last hour. You can see how quickly these storms are moving. So here's the actual storms that race through Breckinridge County. It's been sheared quite a bit, so it's been ripped apart basically. There is no tornado. To confirm, to clarify, the tornado warning has been canceled, meaning the tornado threat is gone, but you're still probably going to see some very heavy rain if you're in that West Point area near Fort Knox, kind of right there along the Ohio River for the next 15 to 20 minutes, and it's going to continue to weaken as it moves northeastward as well. So we're going to continue to keep a close eye on that. We're also watching this activity that's back to our west. So Hardinsburg and Breckinridge County, you guys have been the main target so far with a lot of the heavy rain that we've had at the moment, but outside of that earlier tornado warning we had, we do not have anything severe in our immediate viewing area.
Yeah, just FYI.
Let's quickly run through Futurecast here. I've been muting when TG is speaking so we don't have overlap, and you can hopefully hear me a little bit better. As we scroll through the rest of the night here, we still have a ways to go. This is only the initial stuff that we're looking at. By 1:30, 2 o'clock, midnight, we're still going to be seeing a pretty strong line of showers and thunderstorms expected to roll across the area. Even by 4 o'clock, still seeing some isolated thunderstorms. And it's not going to really be until about 6 to 9 o'clock, this line that we see here now at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, that's going to be the end of this event. That's the actual cold front rolling through. So that could still give us a couple more thunderstorms, and then it will move through the region fairly quickly, and then our temperatures will really begin to drop for Saturday morning after that cold front passes through. So scrolling back through that again, this is Futurecast. This is one forecast model showing this activity continuing through the course of the night and into the early morning hours through sunrise tomorrow morning.
So far, they agree with you all that it's radar indicated. They had no reports. They're just so that is good news.
We're about to start the night team, and Ben Pine, TG Shuck, and myself are here in studio. You can watch us live on WHAS 11 over the air, and we are tracking this current situation. We do not have any severe warnings in our immediate coverage area at the moment. That is the good news. The earlier tornado warning has since been canceled. We do have some rain off to the northeast along the I-71 corridor, Henry County there, Washington County, Newcastle, towards Hanover, Breckenridge County here in Hardinsburg. Nothing is severe for you guys at this moment, but you are still seeing some of those stronger downpours and gusty winds right now.
With that said, we definitely need to be on guard because some of those thunderstorms that are that large, those supercells, can have a history of becoming long track tornadoes and last quite a while and move our direction. Plus, we might have little spin-up tornadoes through the nighttime, along with some boetos and damaging winds. So, the severe weather threat, basically, we're watching very closely now, all the way through about 8 o'clock in the morning. I think damaging winds is going to be your highest threat.
So we currently do not have any warnings in our viewing area. There are no severe thunderstorm warnings as of now. There are no tornado warnings as of now. That's the good news. All earlier warnings have since been canceled or they have expired, but this is just the beginning of what we're expecting for tonight. There's still a lot of activity. All of this back here near Paducah and further west is still headed our way. So we still have several hours to get through for tonight. So if you are going to be if you are planning to go to bed, it's important you have a way to stay informed. So have a way to wake up during that warning. Your cell phone charged, the ringer's on, your alert's on. If you have a NOAA weather radio, that's going to be very beneficial. Make sure that it's plugged in or it has batteries, and also be sure that you have that designated safe place to go to in the event of a tornado warning. Main threats we're looking at for tonight include damaging wind gusts, tornadoes. There have been several tornadoes already confirmed in western Kentucky throughout the course of tonight. Those have already caused some pretty significant damage. We have not seen anything like that here in our area. Environment not quite favorable yet, but it could be as we continue through the night. So damaging winds and tornadoes are our largest threats. There is a smaller threat for flooding and hail, but we could still see some isolated locations of some flooding. So we'll continue to see this through the course of the night. We're not expecting this storm system to actually get through our area until about 9 o'clock in the morning. So it's still going to be a fairly long night for us, and we are going to be here all night long tracking it. And looking at some of the latest reports that I've seen from you guys, it looks like so far, or at least as of now, only getting some heavy rain, lightning, and some slightly gusty winds. So that is the good news.
There's that line of the Mississippi River, and that one heading towards St. Louis. And it is, again, that very large.
Okay, down in Hart County, we're starting to see some development.
So Futurecast here.
Bonneville, Munfordville, Horse Cave. Here's a loop of that over the last hour. That's recently developed, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. That will be moving south of the parkways there into Greene counties, Taylor counties, probably LaRue counties, Marion and Washington counties as well, parts of Nelson County.
So here are the thunderstorms that we have at about 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. Again, we don't just have one sweeping squall line that's going to move through like we often have with the cold front. It's just going to be wave after wave of some heavy rain, lightning, thunder, and possibly some gusty winds and some isolated damaging winds.
Just looking through NWS chat.
9 o'clock, we're going to see that threat of severe weather diminish off to the east and southeast, and notice the wind direction shift and the temperature drop. This is at 9 o'clock in the morning, and look at these 30s and 40s that begin to move in during the daytime tomorrow and in the afternoon. And again, tomorrow afternoon, some wind gusts 20, 30, possibly even up to 40 miles per hour here, Doug. So we've got a lot of changes that we're going to be looking at here in the next 24 hours. Minute by minute, hour by hour, the entire first order storm team.
All right, we are going to go back to our regular newscast at the moment, but we're going to keep an eye on this activity and get back to you just as soon as our weather situation requires it. So thanks again. I'm Alden German in the Weather Center, and we'll be here all night long.